This is Pete Thomas from NBC's The Biggest Loser, season number 2. And we're back, or should I say The Biggest Loser is back. That's right, it is season number 8, episode number 1, the premiere of The Biggest Loser. And this year, it's singles. They've returned to singles. It's been a while since it's been singles. And it's going to be a great season. So we start off, and we see the contestants going to the ranch. And they're on a lovely, large, luxurious bus. And it looks like they're going down the Malibu area, down Pacific Coast Highway. And they've got to make a detour where they meet up with Allison, who, surprise, surprise, has their first challenge in store for them. That's right, their first challenge. Haven't even gotten to the ranch, haven't met the trainers, haven't done any physical activity up to this point. What's the challenge? A 1-mile run. That's right, a 1-mile run. So we know this is going to be quite difficult. And so my money off the top is on Alan. Alan's an EMT and he's overweight, but I still think he's going to beat everybody until, surprise, surprise, one of the persons that's returning to the show is Daniel. Again, now, this season is about second chances and second opportunities. And so Daniel last season, he lost a ton of weight, but he still needs to lose some more. And so he was just an adorable guy. So he gets a chance to come back. So now my money on this challenge is on him. I think that he's going to beat everybody in this challenge. See if Alan comes in second. And sure enough, and they're off. And right out of the bat, Tracy is leading everyone. But then she kind of falls hard to the side. And we see who goes on to win. Absolutely, it's Daniel. And then behind him, the other contestants come. But the drama is really focused on Tracy because she is over in the sand, barely making it. Eyes rolled back into the back of her head. I got a feeling she'd be all right. You know, they've done all kind of tests on these contestants. I got a feeling she'll be fine. So then after that, we get to a round table. And the round table, the contestants begin to talk about their lives and where they're from and all that kind of good stuff. And we hear from Alan, of course, as I mentioned, who's the EMT. And we hear from Rudy Pauls and Rebecca and Shay and Julio. And then we hear from Abby. Now, Abby's entire family was killed in a car accident. And so you think, does anyone deserve to be on The Biggest Loser? Well, if there's anyone that deserves it, I'd have to think it was Abby. I mean, her story is just phenomenal. And so it comes to mind that whenever you think your situation is bad, someone else is going through an even worse situation. And there was not a dry eye in the room there as Abby was going through and explaining about her situation and talking about her life and how everything that she lived for, every role that she cherished, it died that day that her family died. Whew. It's really, really powerful stuff. And then we get to the fact that all the contestants are going to team up. It's in singles, but we're still going to team everybody up. Daniel, of course, the cutest guy ever on the show, he teams up with Shay, who we can tell is bigger than everyone else. And so he's got a heart for her because he was the largest contestant in history. And so he picks Shay for his contestant. Alan picks Abby. Alan, the guy that goes out and saves people for a living. He goes and picks someone who's gone through one of the worst situations ever. And so the teams break off and everybody's set, and then they're all set to go to the first weigh-in. Now, in the first weigh-in, they meet Bob and Jillian, who, of course, are back. It's their first time meeting them. And on the scale, I think the most remarkable thing on the scale is Shay. She gets on the scale and she passes Daniel as the largest contestant in Biggest Loser history. I mean, she is the largest ever. I think, if I remember, she's 471 pounds. So it's just amazing. But even more amazing is something, her story reminds me of myself, growing up in foster care. And she said these words. She said, "It made me realize that after 29 years of living to fix my mom, I spent 29 years breaking myself." So think about it. Think about it. In your own life, who are you living trying to fix? And what effect is it having on you? And so then we're off to work out. And so we find out that the contestants are going to be trained by both Bob and Jillian. And so great stuff goes on in there. One of the great quotes that I like was from Dina. Dina talked about Bob and Jillian. And Dina said, "Bob definitely looks nice on TV, but in real life, he's not nice." And then Jillian, then you go to Jillian, and she's just like what you see on TV. I thought that was a great quote by her. Now, during this whole process, during the workouts, it's their first time being trained by Bob and Jillian. You have nothing in your life could really prepare you for this. And Shay appears to quit. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, the drama. You're in fat heaven. We know you're not going to quit. You know how many hours did you stand in line waiting to get on the show? You can't go from here to what? And she, of course, comes to that realization and goes back. It really became just an excuse for Jillian to yell at her at extra time, which I thought was kind of funny. Because she's, Jillian's talking to Bob about how much time do we give her and blah, blah, blah. And then she comes in and Jillian just starts screaming at her all over again. That, I thought that was quite funny. Now, during the workouts, I thought the other neat thing during the workouts, and we'll see that, Alexandria, she actually starts yelling back at Jillian. I thought that was really powerful because Alexandria was getting the point across that she is not weak. And so I love that. I love that to see that. And then, of course, the contestants go off to the California Health and Longevity Center where we'll find out they're really, really fat and they're really, really in bad shape health-wise and all of that, like the big fella. They're about to die. You know what I'm saying? And so we find that out right there at the Health and Longevity Center. And then we go back to the workouts. Now these workouts are the last chance workouts. A couple neat, kind of funny thing. Jillian starts talking to Julio and she says every time he falls down, and of course they have to, show every time, absolutely every time he falls down, she's going to call him dead father. I was like, whew. Jillian has definitely turned it up a notch this season. And so we see them going to the scale. And another powerful thing that I heard from Alan. Alan said, if I can't be here for me, I can't be here for them. And so we often hear, I'm here for this person and I'm here for that person. But there are times in your life you have to be selfish. And in being selfish, you're actually being charitable. If you take some time for yourself to work on your own health and wellness, then you're actually being, you're giving yourself to others with long life and with health and longevity. And so I thought that was a very powerful quote. And then Abby speaks to us again. And of course, she captures everybody. And everyone in the room is nearly in tears when she says death would be an easier choice for her. She says it's hard being there that's hard because there's not anyone else to live for. And so I get up and give it my all. I mean, when she said that, everybody was touched, including Jillian, who said, because of Abby, she can be stronger. And I thought that was powerful, really. I mean, she's going to be this year's darling, absolutely. In the end, Alexandria and Julio fall below the line. And so who's it going to be? You can always tell who's going to get eliminated when they get to the elimination room. I'll tell you about that on the second video. But ends up that Alexandria goes home and we see that she's continuing to do well. She's one of the largest women to ever appear on the show, but she's doing dynamite. As a college student at home, she's taking care of business and working out. She's even got her mother involved. And so we look to see great things from her down the road. Now, this is just episode number 1. We're going to have many more episodes and continue to give you guys an update, but this is also just part 1. We're going to have a part 2 where we give you more insight into what happens on the actual Biggest Loser Ranch and some of the things, some of the changes that go on. I actually spent some time with Carla and her husband, Carla from season number 7, and her husband came up to watch the premiere episode with us, and so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that happen and go on behind the scenes. Wanted to get this video out of the way and get this over to you all. This is Pete Thomas from the Grand Rapids Press, and remember, there's a winner within you.